All right, here we go. You're watching NBA Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Jayson. No, I did not drool on myself. That is a beer stain because I shotgunned a beer because we reached some great milestones here at Chat Sports with $100 in Super Chats. But either way, coming your way on today's show, where do teams stand in their pursuit for Kevin Durant? We're going to uncover that because some new teams now entering the fold. Now, when you look at the Kevin Durant trade odds, these are the teams favored by Vegas to potentially make a move for KD. Boston Celtics the favorites, followed by the Phoenix Suns, Golden State Warriors, Toronto Raptors, Portland Trail Blazers, Memphis Grizzlies, Los Angeles Clippers, New York Knicks still in there, Atlanta Hawks, and Los Angeles Lakers at 18-1 odds. As for the teams reported by Shams Charania that could make a play for KD's services, 3 squads to be exact. Boston Celtics, Toronto Raptors, as well as the Miami Heat. Some of those teams on the list, and then there are also other teams who are entering the fold, like the Philadelphia 76ers, as well as the New Orleans Pelicans, who are reportedly interested in maybe making a move for KD, one of the most unique and best offensive players of all time. We'll talk about the Sixers and Pelicans in just a few moments, but first, I want to hear from you, the audience. What is the best fit for KD? Which team do you think he fits seamlessly on? Let me know right now in the comment section. This coming on the latest with the Boston Celtics from the Boston Globe, Brooklyn initially, get this, tried to pry both Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown from Boston. That proposal went nowhere, of course. The source confirmed recent reports that Brooklyn later shifted its focus to a potential deal centered on Brown, Marcus Smart, and a massive haul of future first-round draft picks. But the Celtics were not interested. And the Celtics should not have been interested in trading away Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown for Kevin Durant. Yes, getting back Kevin Durant would be great, but you'd gut the rest of your roster. And for a team coming off an NBA Finals appearance, that really just does you no good. The Celtics would never do it, nor should they do it. As Stephen A. Smith would say, that's blasphemous. As for the New Orleans Pelicans, according to the New York Post, a team to keep an eye on. The Pels could offer a package that would appease the Nets. They could include Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, a great defender, Devontae Graham, and Jose Alvarado, also an elite defender. And we know that Brandon Ingram at this point has added every offensive move to his toolbox, is a walking bucket, and one of the best young scoring wings in the NBA. Because of recent trades that the Pelicans have also been able to make, they've been able to compile some pretty good draft assets as well. Now, if you are David Griffin, who's heading basketball operations for New Orleans in the Big Easy, would you trade Brandon Ingram, who's young, for Kevin Durant, who's a little bit injury prone and 34 years old? T for trade, P for pass. I'm going to go ahead, and some of you might call me crazy. I'm going to type my P for pass. I'd rather build with Brandon Ingram as compared to trading for Kevin Durant because I think that Pelicans roster is really in a good spot. Another team entering the fold, it's the Philadelphia 76ers. Ian Begley with this, saying that the Sixers have interest in KD, and he views Philly as a desired landing spot. We'll unpack that, look at how might KD fit on that Philadelphia roster. But first, in addition to YouTube, we also push out our content on Rumble. Free and uncensored content, sports, news, politics, tech, and business as well. We continue to grow and expand to the platforms that you use. So make sure you give us a follow because sometimes we go live and push out videos exclusively on Rumble by heading to rumble.com/NBA now. We continue to keep it moving with the Philadelphia 76ers entering the fold. And how could KD maybe fit on the Sixers? We know that Durant told Nets ownership, you can either keep me, but if you want to keep me, you got to fire Sean Marks and Steve Nash. Or if you want to hold on to your general manager and your head coach, Joe Tsai, I want you to trade me. Joe Tsai on social media then backed Marks and Nash on Twitter and said, we'll do what's best for the Brooklyn Nets. And up to now, the 76ers had not been mentioned as a KD destination, but now they are. Ian Begley, according to him, Philadelphia entering the fold. As of earlier this week, there were high-ranking members of the Sixers who have felt strongly about engaging with Brooklyn on a Durant trade. It is unknown if Brooklyn and Philadelphia have made any recent progress on a deal. The Sixers would almost certainly have to include Tyrese Maxey in a trade for Durant. Given the dynamics at play, you'd think that also Tobias Harris, Matisse Thybulle, and other players and draft picks would also be included. Maxey, one of the top young guards in the league. Harris, a New York City native, is seen around the league as a high-character player and leader. He has a history with Ben Simmons in Philadelphia, and is a type of veteran who could help the Nets team win games after a Durant trade. Now, for the 76ers, giving up Tyrese Maxey would be a huge blow. It would be crushing. But we're talking about Kevin Durant. And to trade for Kevin Durant, you'd have to give up Tyrese Maxey, one of the best young, up-and-coming guards in the NBA, who has this vivacious, awesome personality, and the game is great too. Year 1 to year 2, made a monster jump. In year 3, I don't think it's crazy to say that Tyrese Maxey has all-star potential, and in fact, I'd like to see him be the go-to guy outside of Joel Embiid for that 76ers offense as a guy who can break down the defense off the dribble, get to the rim, but also shoot from the outside. A lot of you watching right now are probably asking this, though. Wait, KD and Harden? I thought they're not close because of that flame out in Brooklyn. Well, I think a lot of that was because of Kyrie Irving, and it looks as though that relationship is just fine. Regarding the Sixers, Begley continued, it would be a bit strange on the surface for Durant to reunite with James Harden after the way things played out in Brooklyn. Is there any lingering issue between Harden and Durant? For those reading the tea leaves, it's worth pointing out that both Durant and Harden spent time together in London recently. Why were they in London? They were at the Travis Scott concert. All of them are very close. This is also of note. Frank Isola, who is tapped in to the New York market, did say that Kevin Durant does want to play with James Harden. They played with one another in Oklahoma City, reunited in Brooklyn. It didn't work out, but could it happen and could it work out in Philadelphia? And at the end of the day, look, competitors want to win titles, and Harden needs a title, doesn't have one in his NBA career. And while KD has 2, he wants another one to add to his legacy. And in those 2 NBA Finals appearances and 2 championships, he was named the NBA Finals MVP. But there's been a lot of chatter about KD, and we know that sometimes he's sensitive to it. He wins another championship, and a lot of that chatter will die down just a bit. Now, I do want to ask you this. Where will Kevin Durant play next year? Will it be with Philadelphia, Boston, New Orleans, or a different team out there? Let us know right now. As for the Durant trade odds, these teams, once again in the mix: Boston Celtics, Phoenix Suns, Golden State Warriors, Toronto Raptors, Portland Trailblazers, and then the Grizzlies, Clippers, Knicks, Hawks, and Lakers. If you want to look at this from a which team is the most realistic standpoint, it could be Boston. If you include Jaylen Brown, I don't think the Suns are going to give up any of their assets because, look, they can't trade Devin Booker. They can't trade DeAndre Ayton because of those rules. Maybe the Clippers are a sneaky destination. I think the Grizzlies are a sneaky destination as well, but certainly something that we'll continue to monitor right here on NBA Now by Chat Sports.